Hello, everybody, and welcome to this first devlog. I'm Zach, and this incredible robot person beside me is Feli. Say hi.
Hello. Hi.
And I do have to say it every single time. It is like such a cool model. I love it, Feli. It's super, super cool.
Thank you. I worked hard on it, but I think it ended up
Yeah,
looking good.
yeah, it looks good. So, we wanted to make this video to explain a little bit what is Punk Terra. Let's go ahead and do that first question. What is Punk Terra? So obviously, it's a tabletop RPG. For those who don't know what that is, it's basically a game or a set of rules which you follow, where you get together with a bunch of friends or strangers, depending on your situation, and you
Yeah.
cooperatively tell a story. Um, this particular set of rules is action and combat oriented, but
Yes. Yeah, definitely. We try to focus on every single aspect of the role playing because it is a very complex. It is very complex, but definitely there is like a focus on the your action and your combat, and with a good amount of role playing by the side. But yeah, those are our main objectives.
yeah, cool, cool. The other point that we have here is customization. We really wanted people to be able to create whatever character they wanted. I think the system of like main class and secondary class makes that happen pretty well. So yeah, we wanted you to be able to be whoever you wanted.
Yeah, we have a pretty good mix of classes that can be combined together to create and mainly to get you out of the blank canvas problem
Yeah,
that
yeah,
we all have and spark your creativity and create whatever you want to play.
yeah. Cool. The other thing is, we've tossed around the term steampunk. There's diesel punk, gothic punk, all types of punks. Punk Terra, obviously, with the name, is a sort of punk, but I think the two terms that really define it are steampunk. It is more of an umbrella term, and also arcane punk, because we do have magic in the world and in the system, and it's a pretty
Yeah.
important part. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's like the yin and the yang of our
Mm-hmm.
system. The industrialism and all the magical concepts,
Yeah,
those are really strong on our TTRPG.
yeah, yeah. And last but not least, we are not like a company or anything. We're just like two guys. Well, not just two guys. There's also been a lot of other people that have helped during these 2 years that we've been actually making this game, and it's basically a small passion project. We we think we have something nice on our hands, and we've just been working at it. Yeah,
Yes, many
yeah,
people has have lend us their hand, but we are the main guys, like working on the mechanics and
yeah, yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I'm the guy who just types things and has ideas, and then my robot friend Philly is the one who makes all the calculations and makes
People,
everything work.
I'm a robot.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah, I love trying to balance the game. It's such a fun exercise, very hard too, but very fun indeed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So next slide. Our design inspirations. So we have the basically it's a version of the interlock system, or you could call it like the interlock system, because you roll a d12 plus your attribute plus your skill, and that's what makes it makes you like have the target number and rolling the dice and getting that result. And I think I really like the system because it does give an emphasis on what your character is capable of doing more than luck. I think it gives that chance for skill expression. So I think Cyberpunk, or The Witcher, or anything that Talsorian has done can exemplify that pretty well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's somewhat standard to you know add those attributes and
Mm-hmm.
skills, but I think the main point is that the our sums, everything ends up outweighing a little bit the die.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not so random,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
of course there's space for excitement too with the criticals and fumbles.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a pretty good balance, and you can, as you said, you can really express your character throughout
Mm-hmm.
using their abilities and skills.
Yeah.
They really feel like they matter.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely. The other points that we have here are D&D at 3.5, Pathfinder, fifth edition, and I know that fifth edition has some like debate around it, discussion about if it's like the best or not. But um, I think there are things that these systems do really well. I love the customization and Pathfinder in 3.5. I think it's like really nice. But fifth edition also has a thing of like accessibility that anyone can like uh, get a hold of it and play, which is like something that we also want for our system.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as easy as other
Yeah.
systems, of course, but it's a good middle ground
Mm.
between the number crunching and the accessibility, as Zach said,
Yeah, yeah,
definitely.
yeah, yeah. Also, a couple of inspirations. We have I have Divinity: Original Sin 2, that video game, which we took inspiration from it. I think we there's a lot of design elements that we naturally came to, like the action point system, that we were like, huh, this this is like Divinity. Maybe we should check out like more systems and more things that Divinity does, you know? So there's also some inspiration there. Obviously, we have to keep in mind that we are not as um, our minds aren't as fast as computers, so we can't process everything so much. But I think there are like really good design elements that we can find within video games that can make for interesting mechanics and role playing moments.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one of our core beliefs is that if we can simplify it, we'll try to simplify it,
Mm-hmm.
so that you run our games run as smooth as they can run. Of course, there's a compromise that we have to meet,
Yeah,
because if we strip too much complexity, we end up with something that it's not as interesting or as engaging as it
yeah,
could
yeah,
be. But I think with Punctaro, we're trying to get to that sweet spot, and
yeah,
if
yeah.
I might say so myself, I think we're getting to it.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too. I think it's been really good. I think the last point here in this slide is weirdly enough Minecraft, because it was a mod that you played, Feli, for Minecraft, right? What inspired the magic system?
Yeah, it was weirdly enough. The thing is that the mod is called Thumbcraft,
Mm.
and it basically adds a layer of magic, extra magic,
Mm-hmm.
in Minecraft, which is elemental, and you can explore all the aspects of magic, of elemental magic, combine them, and splice them, and well,
Yeah.
you name it, and
Yeah,
it's very very interesting and well thought out.
yeah,
So it made me feel like I was there. It was
yeah,
very immersive, and I want to recreate that for other people.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, and I think we're getting there. I think we are getting there. So
Yeah.
next slide. I feel like I'm in high school again with the PowerPoint presentation.
Yes.
Okay, so a couple of inspirations. In this slide, it's more about like the feeling and what inspired us to do. Personally, I watched Nausicaa, which is a Miyazaki film. I think it was before he did Studio Ghibli, and I just loved the whole vibe, the general feeling of the story. The story was amazing. The art was like really nice, and it was like the thing that inspired me to start making this system. And I'm not that big a fan of like Victorian steampunk. I prefer a much more like grungy, bold, gritty steampunk. Not necessarily super dark, but somewhere in between. I think that's the perfect spot for me. Um,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the
mhm.
lore really points towards middle ground, balance, somewhat harmony between those
Yeah.
two,
Mhm.
and I think it shows.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's like a lot of like retro things here. I love Star Wars. I love westerns. Um, Full Metal Alchemist anime. I like anime. You know.
Yeah,
Final Fantasy is also. There's like a lot of inspirations, like artistically and feeling wise. It just I think that I prefer a more fantasy type world and feeling, you know? I think Victorian is a little bit too grounded for me in our own reality, you know? And I like exploring other worlds and other settings and other, you know, fantasy and stuff. And I think there's like a last slide here that it's Moebius. I love all his artwork because it's so evocative of just fantasy, you know? And I love mixing fantasy and steampunk and arcane punk. I think it's like a really nice aesthetic option or vibe or world to explore.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I think Moebius really captures the punk in
Yeah, yeah,
Terra, punk
yeah,
Terra. You know?
yeah. Yeah, no, I know. There's a couple more inspirations: Arcane, Dishonored, Warhammer 40K. I like I've played the fantasy Warhammer fantasy role playing, and I think it's pretty good. You know, Van
Yeah, it's
Helsing as
cool.
well. Yeah, yeah.
We're not aiming that dark, but it's a
Yeah, yeah,
reference.
I know, it's a reference. But Van Helsing, Dishonored, all this like magic in the world, I think it's like really, really cool, and I think we're striving for that. So
Yes.
the meat of the presentation, design philosophy.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna state the obvious. Obviously, it's gotta be fun, and for some, it may not be that obvious because sometimes you get bogged down by like mechanics and oh, is this innovative or this is this like interesting enough or something, and you can lose sight of this. So I think stating that we want it to be fun is like a necessity. So you
Yeah,
can be like, yeah, you can be like, oh, but we can do this and that, but then you have to ask your question: is it fun?
definitely. I
Yeah,
mean, that's our one of the our core
yeah,
philosophies.
yeah,
Really,
yeah,
we're trying to bring you a great experience out of the box,
yeah.
and that can only be achieved if we have that priority in mind.
Exactly. The other thing is the second point is immersive mechanics. And you, Feli, you said something really cool, which was expression through action, right?
Yeah, yeah. What I meant by that is that you paint some kind of picture with every point that you spend during your turn and in the round, and how everything interacts, like progressively goes and paints away who your character is
Mm-hmm.
and his motivations and how he does stuff,
Yeah.
and that links very nicely with our class system and convergent class system.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything like comes together through those expressions
Mm-hmm.
through action.
Yeah. No, definitely. Um, I think I think it's really nice to be able to make some type of choreography within combat because it is combat oriented. Our system is,
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I think it's like really nice that you can like make this big heroic action or take this big heroic turn where you jump and you leap and you like take a chance on hitting them and you go with your daggers and you attack them, and but then you made this bold move and then you're open to be like, all right, so he's open now. Like he gave it his all, and he made this choice to just do this. But there is a cost to like everything you do, and so it's nice to make this type of choreography and how everyone reacts to how the battlefield changes and how characters have used their points. I think it's really
yeah.
nice.
Definitely. I mean, we also want to focus on player agency,
Hmm.
so players won't feel like they are in control of the narrative of their character
Yeah,
and take the risks that they want,
exactly.
how they want to take them.
Exactly.
So definitely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the other point is fast pace and low cognitive burden. This is, I think it's very important. I mentioned it a little bit with the video game thing, but I think it's very necessary that you don't have to bookkeep that much. You were the one that
Mhm.
insisted on that, Feli. Like lessen the bookkeeping, and I think we've done a good job of like trying to lessen it as much as we can.
Yeah, we mentioned it before, but I mean, I'm a robot, but not all people are. So
Yeah,
it's very hard to keep track and keep the game running
yeah,
smoothly.
yeah,
So we want to avoid this as much as possible
yeah.
using, well, not innovative mechanics, but
Mhm.
definitely some that reduce that burden
Yeah, yeah.
as much as we can.
Yeah, and I think the thing that I made sure is it also try to remove it as much for the GM. I think the GM also has a lot on their plate,
Yeah.
so we have to like keep it low cognitive burden and make it intuitive. Let's segue into the last point. Make it as simple and intuitive as you can, and then see what sacrifices must be made for depth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, it's just what I said. We are trying to make a fun experience that is not bogged down by mechanics, as we said previously, but
hmm
also that runs smoothly and doesn't need you to keep track of lots and lots of things, especially if you're the GM.
yeah,
So we have that a priority in mind.
yeah,
But of course, we have to
yeah.
make some compromises to
Of
make it
course.
fun and complex. So of course there has to be a little bit of
hmm
tracking, and as we
hmm
said, we are oop, my face is gone.
Oh no.
Yeah, uh, 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 as I said, we're trying to go more or less the pace that fifth edition takes.
Mm.
So we have a middle ground, happy middle ground
Yeah, yeah.
between complexity and fun.
I wanted to give an example that of something that we made like to make sure that it was intuitive, and what we did is that on the maximum or minimum of any die you roll, something happens. Be it a fumble or a critical, or an armor break on damage dies, or basically a deterioration but like critical effect on your magical source die. So that every time you roll either the maximum or the minimum on a die, something will happen. That's just because of that, because of the patterns, that something will happen.
Yes, definitely. We have a lot of mechanics in place to create consistent patterns that the players recognize and make it intuitive and
Yeah.
easy to learn and fun to
Yeah.
learn also. So
Yeah.
yeah, those mechanics are in place for that, and also eliminate bookkeeping as the source
Yeah.
die
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
does.
So,
Yeah.
design philosophy. That's basically our design philosophy. Obviously, fun. We want immersive mechanics that allow for role playing and paint a picture. Fast paced, low cognitive burden, and make it as simple and intuitive as you can, and then see what sacrifices must be made for depth. Now, we want to end with the roadmap. So, on the last slide, on point number one is finish the magic system. And I think we're basically done. We have some balancing and some tuning to do, but I think the mechanics are pretty good. We also need to play test them, obviously.
Yeah,
But
the
yeah,
mechanics are there definitely,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
we just need a little bit of fine tuning of the content, create
Mm-hmm.
a little bit more content,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and as you said, play test it and
Yeah.
make sure it's decent.
Yeah, yeah, of
It's
course.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, number two, and I think we're gonna take number two and three like as one, which is deeper backstories, a flaws and virtues system, and writing and expanded tools for the GM part for the guide. I think we've been focusing a lot on mechanics, on making sure that it's really fun and that the action and rolling and everything just doesn't take you out of the immersion. But I do think we need to like focus and put a little bit more energy into the role playing aspect of our TTRPG.
Yeah, I mean, we want to make it seamless,
Mm-hmm.
and we want to be able to make like a let's say a bridge between role playing and the mechanics,
Mm-hmm.
because they sometimes feel like they are two
Yeah.
separate things. We want them one to affect the other
Yeah.
and to feel like a cohesive whole.
Yeah.
I think that's the
Yeah. Yeah.
goal there.
Yeah, I think that's good. Number four, design more monsters. I think, because I think the core rule book is like, it's not meant to be like a whole monster manual or whatever, bestiary or whatever you want to call it. But I think we do need to design more monsters, add that type of content, even prepare for the expansions, maybe.
Yeah.
Then number five is playtesting, balancing, and fine tuning values. Playtesting is always extremely important. We have been playtesting with Feli and a couple of friends.
It's been good so far.
Yeah,
It's been a great experience, actually. We enjoy it a lot,
yeah,
and we are hoping you do too.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
why we're releasing it, actually, because
yeah.
we liked it
Exactly.
so much.
Yeah, exactly. And the idea is that if anyone wants to playtest or anything, they can go to the Discord, and ask if they can have the material. There is a quick start guide, just so you know, on Drive Through RPG. It's pay what you want that you can download, and it has like the basic mechanics there. Obviously, not much in the way of leveling up or customization, but it does help you get into the meat of things like pretty fast. I think it's like a 30-page document or something like that, and a lot of those pages are um, story. It's a little bit of a quick start adventure. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe buy us a coffee.
yeah, maybe. Are
Encourage
you
our shenanigans.
exactly? Number six is finishing the artwork and layout. Yeah, we have to make sure that our rule book, our PDF, and eventually, if we can print it out, it's not like a super big priority printing it out, but we want to make sure that it's really pretty, it's really nice, that if you have it, you're like, it's nice to look at. And Shavazik is an amazing artist, and we're so happy to have him on board, and we're just waiting for the artwork to be finished, and we've been, or at least I've been having meetings with him, and I'm being like, oh, this is the direction we're going, this is the vibe, this is the feeling, and I think it's turning out like really, really nice.
Yeah, his art is great. I mean,
Yeah,
we probably leave his reference in somewhere where
yeah,
we
yeah, yeah,
can,
yeah, yeah.
because you have to check his artwork.
I
It's
know, I know.
just that
It's
good.
it's really good. And then after the artwork is done and we finish the layout and we've play tested everything, we'll finally release. And we're aiming, actually, like, our hopes is for like a September release, but that can change. We're willing to give ourselves more time or less time to make it, to make it work, and to have something nice on our hands and to pass it over to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to rush the product and
Yeah,
make
yeah,
it
yeah,
worse for it, but
yeah,
we also don't want to take too much time and
yeah.
never release it. So
Exactly.
we're trying to find a happy, middle ground, as I've said before, in everything,
Yeah,
harmony.
yeah,
But yeah, we'll try to get it as fast as we can for you guys.
yeah.
Oop, my face died again. I don't know what's happening.
No.
Oh, I'm here.
Okay. So, yeah. Then this concludes our PowerPoint presentation. And if you want to see another devlog, if you want to comment something, if you have any ideas, questions, go ahead and leave a comment. Tell us if you want another one. You can subscribe to the channel if you want, if there's a YouTube thing. And yeah, we hope to see you in the next video and in our Discord channel. Join it, and just be part of this project. And we're happy that you've given us the light of day and your attention. And if you've come this far, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And if you have any suggestion or anything, just let us know, and we
yeah,
are all open to hear you.
yeah,
Please do.
yeah, absolutely.
Actually.
Yeah, exactly. So, thank you for watching. Bye
Bye bye.
bye.